It's mailbag day, ladies and gentlemen. What's the word? And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears with their win now attitude right now. Does that influence what they will be potentially doing in this year's draft? Y'all know me and C-Dubb going to talk about it and break it down. But what? You got to hear the music first.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back in to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by C-Dubb. What's the word, my guy?
What's the word? That loser will be off the intro before the
I was just about to say that. Hey, we gonna make sure Matt Eberflus and all that funk is away from us, please. Because C-Dubb, just real quick before we get to the topic, bro, they just dropped the article pretty much saying that Caleb Williams had tensions with Matt Eberflus after that Commanders loss. The rookie quarterback.
Bro, we all had tension. We all had beef with Eberflus after that shit, bro. All of us.
Bro, we was like, bro, forget that slick ass mullet, forget the new facial hair. We finna shave you bald, and even the eyebrows. You just gonna be bare face, bro. Forget you.
Yeah, he went straight back to Goofy Matty. He went right back to Goofy Matty, bro.
Oh, bro. But hey, C-Dubb, a lot has been talked about with this draft stuff, even hearing things and rumors pretty much saying that the Chicago Bears could potentially trade up to get people. Most specifically Ashton Jeanty. And then we've heard, like, if this guy falls, the Bears can do this. If this guy's off the board, the Bears can move back. But one thing that we got to talk about is like how Ben Johnson came into this whole entire situation with the win now mentality. And the Chicago Bears, they spent that money on this past offseason that kind of signals that they want to win games now. With that in mind, do you think that influences what the Chicago Bears could potentially do in this year's draft?
I'm gonna go no. It does not influence what the Chicago Bears do in this draft. I heard the war cry, what Ben Johnson said. He said we're going to win football games now. But we had things to solve in this roster before that war cry was proclaimed. I think ultimately how the Chicago Bears get to that place where they win now is play on the field. All that talking into existence, we learned from that from previous years. We don't want to hear we want to win games. We want to see you win games. So I will not be fooled into galvanizing rhetoric and let's go get them mottos. Show me on the field.
Understood. And I agree with a lot that you said there. But I think that the way that the Chicago Bears have addressed the offseason, they in a position to where they can really go out and pretty much get guys that they see can best fit to help push the envelope forward. And what I mean by that is I'm not necessarily saying I will do it, because I wouldn't trade up to get Ashton Jeanty. If he falls to me, I will absolutely take him. But I say once you get into that you know what I'm saying, the back half of the first round, hey, you can potentially use some of the draft capital that you have in this year's draft to potentially move up a couple spots to go and grab the guy that you absolutely believe can come change the team. Because if you look at the defense is pretty much solidified. You got starters everywhere that can produce. Your offense is pretty much solidified. You brought in all these offensive linemen. Yes, we need more depth, but you still need some game changes too in other places, because maybe another slot can come in and change the envelope if you see that he's there and he might be going by the time you're picking in that second round. Maybe you couldn't get Ashton Genty early, but you see that there are so many running backs that are falling off the draft. You gotta go risk some draft to go and grab the running back that you feels is going to help this system, because we all can agree we love Rojo, but he's not going to be the eventual starter or the shared running back, at least in my opinion, in the backfield to help change the envelope. So I think that that the decisions that they made in the offseason could very well influence how the Chicago Bears move in this year's draft, bro.
Yeah, I understand that, but let me cut in a little bit in the middle of your soliloquy there.
It ain't
I don't
little.
mean it. I
You
ain't
ain't
gonna be.
taking
I
no
ain't trying
short
to be.
slander on a
Yeah,
Saturday.
I ain't
I
gonna
don't want to
be
hear it.
disrespectful. You say the Chicago Bears. It'll be stupid. I don't think you say they wouldn't do it, but I think you think it'll be stupid. That's what you're saying, to trade up for Genty. So, and not in any
I
circumstance
ain't
would
call
you
it stupid.
trade
I
up,
just
but
said I wouldn't trade up.
because you think it's stupid.
I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, so you think it's stupid. So look, if they decide to trade up, you think it is no case that the Bears can trade up and get Genty. No case.
No, because if he falls to 6, and let's just say that they don't select him, the Raiders, after that, you got teams like the Jets and other teams, they already solidified in their running back field. So you should be good to just sit patiently and wait.
The
Because now
Panthers.
with new information brings new thoughts. Derek Carr might not be available at 9. So they gotta take a quarterback. And if Shador is falling to them, Shador is going to New Orleans. You can patiently wait to draft Ashton Genty at 10. Now, if you want to move up those 4 slots, like I said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it, depending on what's the cost of it.
I just think if you want to be aggressive and if you got that plan in your head that you want to have a strong running game, a fresh, new, bubbling running game, you might want to risk trading away. Dude, I don't think they have 7 round. They got 6 round picks. You might pick a 6 round pick in a slot change to get to that 6th pick or get to that. I don't know if if the Jaguars want to trade back or anybody above that. I don't think they will. But if the opportunity arises and then you got this guy Austin Genty up there, you might want to trade up. I don't think we should just go ahead and just throw that out the window like they won't trade up. Like anything's on the table, I'm saying.
I think to like I said, I wouldn't do it, but you make a compelling point simply because of this. We just talked about the win now mentality. We
Yeah.
just talked about the win now mentality. You don't need a number 1, a number 2 wide receiver. You don't need a number 1, number 2 cornerback. You don't need a number 1 or a number 2 safety. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you got Briscoe and Bayard. Your linebackers are set. Your lines and your trenches are set. Yes, you need depth pieces, but that is a compelling way to think about it, bro. It's a
Yeah.
compelling way to think about it because, to your point, if you feeling like you want to win games now, and in my opinion, Ashton Genty is absolutely the best running back in this draft. I don't know why people keep trying to talk themselves
I
out of
don't know
that.
why they keep doing it. It's
He's the
so
best
silly.
running back in this draft.
Yeah.
It might be a risk that the Bears might be willing to take, to be honest.
Yeah. And then on another hand, you just look throughout all the units we have, the linebacker units, the defensive line, cornerback, and so on. Which ones are the ones with the question marks on it that you feel like it could be okay, but we could put it over the edge? I think running back and defensive line are the two that's is a question mark. Like in offensive line, I'm sorry, that one position, Braxton Jones, those are the
Left
question
tackle.
marks. Yeah, left tackle, those are the question marks where you thinking like, oh, maybe we all right, but we could solidify it. So I think more than any other three is the running back position for me.
I think it's
Because
at the top of the list right now.
yeah, because I just don't know how Ben Johnson. I'm just looking at the history. I don't know how much he had to do with it, but they did trade him away. He was the offensive coordinator in Detroit, and they traded him away. I'm sure he got some input.
Swift, yeah.
He got some input, so he added trade his ass on. So it's a question mark there. You cool? I love Rojo, like you were saying. I love him, but are you cool with Rojo? Is that kid
to
that
be
hurt
better.
himself? Is that kid that hurt himself in training camp Hard Knocks?
We
Is we
need
gonna
better.
depend on that? All right.
We need it to be better, bro.
Yeah.
We do need it to be better. But y'all, one question:
Yeah.
would you trade, let's just say, a first, your first, and a third round pick to move up to 6 to get Genty
Wow.
in this year's draft? You
That's
swap your first round pick, and then you give up your third to move up for Genty.
wow. Well, it seemed like when you said that, it was just a lot. That's just like you like overdoing it. I think
I
can't
think
you get
that's what
away?
it's gonna cost.
I
You
think you
still
could get
keep your
away.
2 seconds though. You still keep
I
your two
understand
seconds.
that, but can't you get away with that? Giving away a fourth or a fifth, you can get
I
away
mean,
with
you
that.
possibly can, but I just want to make it an intriguing
I, I,
argument
I mean, because you
or a case.
still, I mean, that team, and it's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. They could still get them a nice player in the fourth round, fifth round, and you swap pips. This the 10th pick is nothing to sneeze at. You still could get you a nice running back if you still was looking for a running back, and then you got the extra asset in the fourth round pick. But I
So
think a
you
third
saying you would
round
go?
pick,
You say you going first and fourth,
I go. That's about as far as the extent and force a fourth or fifth.
but a
I
first and
don't
a
want to
third
give
is
a
too
third.
much.
I think a third is too much. Third is more likely to pan out than a fourth and fifth. I think that's you know that
I
too
think that's
is
interesting.
that too petty or
No,
because I think that's too much to give a like a first your swap a pick in a third.
it's
For
gonna
the
come.
first round, for the first overall. Okay, now we can talk about that. For the first overall, you might be able to get a first. You might get a
No, we're
swap
gonna
in a
swap
first.
first, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you an additional third. I'm gonna give you this
I
year's
know
third.
exactly what you're saying. I
Yeah,
just moved it on to an
right
example
to a
of you
fourth.
was doing
Yeah.
it to with a first round pick, like the first overall pick. Like then I'll go. You might be able to get uh, a first round pick. You know what I'm saying? If it's a first overall pick, did we do that with Caleb?
We got that.
I
We
think
got two. We got
that's how
DJ
we got.
Moore and two first
Yeah, that's how we
in
got
the
Caleb.
second.
Okay, yeah.
That's why
So
but you still keep your 2 seconds this year. Y'all let us know. Y'all continue the conversation on down in the comment box below. If you wanted to move up to 6 with the Las Vegas Raiders, would you be willing to swap first with the Raiders and give them a third round pick in this year's draft, still keeping in mind that you keep your 2 second-round picks in this year's draft? Y'all keep the conversation going. We gonna get on to the mailbag
yes,
aspect of
sir.
this episode. C-Dubb, we gonna kick this thing off. We're hearing from Keys. Here it is.
Keys.
Yo, what's up, CBC? It's your boy Keys, man, on this lovely Friday evening. Hope all is well with you and yours, but let's get to it, man. Hey, I know we've been seeing a lot of stuff about what the Bears gonna do and all those other things like that. Look, true in essence, I do want to run it back, but I ain't gonna trade up to get that guy. Even though he's a good talent, I really see Ashton Genty going somewhere else, specifically the Oakland Raiders. Well, excuse me, the Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me on that. If it's up to me, and I know we missed out on a guy a couple years ago in Jalen Carter, who was having his troubles and everything like that. Maybe we can make good on that and go on and just draft. I think a lot of people gonna say Abdul Carter, but I think the second best edge rusher, but the best to me in this draft is Mike Green. And shout out Steve-O, because if it wasn't for Steve-O, man, he was going to be a second round pick, but now he should be a first. But then with the legal troubles, man, and if he didn't have those problems, Mike Green would probably be top 5 or top 6. And I think him coming to this team will add depth to our pass rushers that we already got. If it isn't him, see if we can trade back. We really need to get some more linemen. I think the running back part will come. I got to say, go after Quinshawn Judkins if we can, because I got a feeling he might be going a little bit early in that second round, even at the end of the first. Somebody going to get him. So you got Mike Green, Kenneth Grant, and, if we're looking at O-line too, it might even be a fit for like a Gray Zabel at guard, if we get Kelvin Banks at left tackle. But let me know what you guys think. As always, shot down up, bear down.
All right. Shout out to my man's Keys. Hell, great voicemail, by the way, bro. And we was just having that conversation talking about if the Bears are be willing to trade up for, or do y'all think the Bears should trade up for a guy like Ashton Genty? But I think that what you said about Mike Green is an absolute good way to think about Mike Green. He is a monster. If y'all been following NFL Central, me and Steve-O just talked about him and broke him down and was talking about how Mike Green would be a hell of a pairing with Trey Hendrickson. What about a Mike Green pairing with Montez Sweat? I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen. But, hey, good call out on that one, bro. C-Dubb, what you got?
Yeah, shout out to Keys. It's definitely a great thought. I definitely go the other way and going, and I want Genty on this team. I do want to pick him up with 10. But I do want to ask this question, and I think this will probably go to a lot. I think we're going to hear a lot about this in these voicemails. You guys want every, like my man Keys, he talked about Juckins in the end of his take. You guys eventually want to run it back. When do we want the best running back? How come we can't have the best? You did your work early. You kind of fixed up the offensive line. You got you some dogs out there. He's a little question mark with Braxton Jones. But if the best of a particular position is available, a running back position, which I think you can need, is one of those high priority positions on this team that I think that you need. Why not get the best one? That's
Fair
the
enough.
question I'll pose.
Fair enough. But hey, appreciate the call, Keys. C-Dubb, we're going to keep this thing moving along. This next one is from Fred.
Fred.
Cognac gang, what it do, man? It's be your boy Fred, man. Shout out to Hayes, Big Cav, and Steve-O, man. What's good with y'all fellas, man? Hey, I just want to say this, man. I don't want to hear about how good the Bears doing in camp or none of that. I want to see action. I don't want to hear about none of how they look good on paper, none of that. I want to see them get the right players for this year's draft, whether it's Genty or if it's Will Campbell. And honestly, I'd rather for us to get a left tackle and get a running back in the second round or something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear none. Once we get this team, you know, fill in the holes that we need and everything, Caleb Williams do not have no excuse to not, you know what I'm saying, have no success and for this team to, you know what I'm saying, go to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Because we build around you, you got you a line, you got you a good coach. So there's no excuse for Caleb to not succeed. Now, I'm hoping Darnell Wright do make a big leap at that tackle position on that O-line. And on top of that, I'm hoping that the defense be like at least top 5 coming this season, especially with a guy like Dennis Allen. Hoping that Jalen Johnson get to play man-to-man like how he wants to, and everybody else has success on the defense as well, though, man, because we can't keep, you know, making excuses, talking about like, oh, well, the Bears need this, that. Now, y'all got everything. You got the line, running game, good coaches for the players and everything, man. So I'm just ready, you know, for the season, the draft. And after that, man, at the point that we start putting cleats to asses, man, because the Bears been hibernating too goddamn long, man. And it's time for them to get unhibernated, you feel me? So, man, fellas, I'm just like, man, I'm kind of excited, but at the same time, I want to see action. Like Marshawn Lynch say, I'm about that action, boss. They got to be about that action, you feel me? So, I'm ready for us to start whooping Green Bay ass because it's FGB at the end of the day. I'm ready to definitely whoop Detroit ass just for the simple fact they talking shit and hating on us and shit. I'm just ready for us to whoop everybody ass. And the record, I'm not going to predict. So I'm just going to see what their record going to be. Everybody saying, you know, 13-4 or whatever. Show me with action. That's all I want the Bears to do. Show me with action because I'm ready to talk my shit during the season. So let me know what you think, fellas. Like, what you think what the Bears going to do? What's your prediction is who they going to get in that first round? So holla at your boy, man. Chicago up, bear down or nothing.
Y'all heard my man Fred. Chicago up, bear down to nothing. A hell of a voicemail, by the way. C-Dubb, what you got for us?
Hey, shout out to my man Fred coming with the fire once again. let's talk about the Chicago Bears and all of this. We want to win now, and we want to rule the North. We're gonna be the king of the North. Hey, man, we tired of hearing that shit. I'm with you, Fred. I don't want to hear it no more. You know what, guys? You know what, Chicago Bears fans? We're gonna be intentionally and obnoxiously deaf. We don't want to hear that shit. We want to see that shit on the field. Y'all can talk all that shit you want. You're gonna be like, okay. Show me. That's what we gonna like. It's a cousin that always lie. Okay, yeah. Show me. And I would like to see really quick, like Caleb Williams will be fine. I think he's fine. I think he had a fantastic rookie season. The question is this gonna be another prove it year? I want you to answer this, nephew. Is it gonna be another prove it year? Or this is something more diabolical, like this a sink or swim year for a lot of players on this Bears team.
No, I don't think it's necessarily a sink or swim. We're gonna talk about Caleb. I don't think it's necessarily sink or swim. I just think that you want to see him take a step forward. Well, I remember last time we did the voicemail. Somebody said he has to go out there and have Jaden Daniels type season. No, he doesn't. He
No,
just
we
have to
don't.
go out there and show that he's better and that Ben Johnson with and them being together is improving. But Fred, I want to talk about Dennis Allen. I've been watching Dennis Allen and C-Dubb. He's a madman. Just real quick. There's a play versus the Carolina Panthers week 1 last season in quarter 2 at 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen brings 8 players to the line. 8 players. Yes, you heard it right. 8 players, and not many of them in the middle. He crowds the edges, right? They hike the ball. He drops 2 of those people and still brings 7, and they blow up Bryce Young. Just a madman. He does that throughout the entire season last season. I got homework for Chicago Bears Central family. Go look up Alante Taylor, nickelback for the New Orleans Saints last season. Look at what he did under Dennis Allen. And you think Kyler Gordon is not about to get paid and have a fantastic season? Get ready. Just get ready. Do your homework.
That was
Get
that,
ready. It's crazy.
that was epic as hell, nephew. That was
It's
cool.
crazy. He a
Good shit,
madman, and I'm
nephew. He
trying to
just
get
cooked.
y'all the film breakdown. I'm trying to get y'all, but NFL pulling clips is just weird as ever. But I'm gonna try to get that to y'all so y'all can see that firsthand. I'm gonna work harder because I've been working hard, but I'm gonna
That
work
was
hard.
cold. That was cold.
But I know the real. But C-Dubb, we're gonna move on to the next one. This next one is from Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
What's up? Hey, Steve-O, Bobby, Cognac Boys, what's up, man? This is Thaddeus, man. I'm a little bit under the weather and yeah, summer, but man, let me tell you, man, I've been hearing all the voicemails, man. All of them been great, man. But this is the one thing that I think that the Bears should do. As far as, man, trading back, because if the names are gone, and everybody know with the big names who they may want, like Campbell and Genty. But if they're gone, man, I would not be opposed to trading back to number 15 to the Atlanta Falcons. And let me tell you why, man. Because Pace, we all know Pace, man. He give it up like cancer, man. He give us those draft picks. And number 15 slot is not that bad. I mean, hell, man, we could pick up, man, the edge, Jalen Walker from Georgia. Or if he's not there, we can get the edge, Michael Williams from Georgia. Man, I would, and check this out. And I haven't heard anybody say nothing about this, man. But what about that boy, Will Johnson, man, from Michigan, and that cornerback, man? I was checking out some of his tape, man, and I was like, man, that's another shutdown corner. Now, granted, man, I know we got a lot of corners, man, but damn, could you imagine, man? We have corners and Brisker fully healthy, and man, it would just be crazy out there, man. It'll be hard to pass on the Bears. And also, either that, if we don't trade down with the Falcons at 15, man, I mean, we could either go with Seattle with 18. They got the 18th pick. And I was thinking, like, if Hampton is there, man, probably get him. Or, James Pierce for Tennessee, that edge right there. And Jahad Campbell, that linebacker, man, from Alabama, man. And I was looking at his tape, too, and I was like, damn, man, we put him out there on linebacker. Man, he should play anywhere, man. He's a hitter, man. He's a hitter, man. He's hard. He reminded me like Wilbur Marshall, man, back in the day, man. I mean, he's a beast, man. So I don't know, man. What do y'all think, man? I'm really down for the trade back, man. Especially if we don't have to trade back too far, man. Like number 15 with the Falcons, number 18 with Seattle, even Pittsburgh at 21. Man, I know they've been getting us, a lot, man. But I think we can get them, man, because I know they need that Shador Sanders or some other quarterback, man. But what do y'all think, man? This is Thaddeus, man. Chicago up, bear down, brothers. All right.
All right, we appreciate the call, Thaddeus. Another great voicemail. Y'all on the road today. Marifa, you up next, so you better go crazy. But nonetheless, out of all the players that you brought up, I just want to go real quick and focus on Jalen Walker because I think in that scenario that you presented with trading back to 15, Jalen Walker would be a good selection for the Chicago Bears. And here's why, really quick. Not only did he line up at edge, he lined up as a linebacker. That provides flexibility and versatility to the Chicago Bears to utilize him however they want to and potentially make some moves this offseason after the season. But I think that's a little that's too much foresight, but it is an interesting player to draft. And Will Johnson, that's Michigan. I got to show up for the big dogs. You already know. But I don't see it happening, me personally.
Yeah. Let me just fix that for the Michigan guy on the panel. Will Johnson is out of the question. Just to calm you down, nephew. Just forget
That's why I
about
said it's over. Leave me
it. Just
alone,
forget
bro.
about it, bro.
Leave me
All
alone,
right,
bro.
look. If you're running your draft with the logic of picking the best available player, you got the big tight end from Penn State. You got Genty, you got a couple other guys, and they've all been they're off the board now, and you can't draft them now. I do agree with trading back. That is something that I agree with down to 15. And then I would just ask the question, then you go, do you switch from that logic of picking the best available at 15 and then you go to need? And I think if you go with that logic, remember the other logic is best available, that's Genty for me. But the other logic, if you need best need, I'm going to go defensive line. So we got to get us a nice pass rusher to complement Montez Sweat. He's going to need a big year next year for me. And I think he needs all the help that he can need. I thought he helped people the last couple of years. Now he needs the help to me.
Yeah, because you don't want him to be in a Khalil Mack situation. You
Yeah,
don't.
absolutely. So I just think that the logic change if none of those players are available, the best available at 10, and you don't see those names on those lists when it gets to your pick. Oh yeah, you go ahead trade back and then you go handle that defensive line, which I think should be the number one thing needed. I think that's a great way to go about this draft.
Hey, just real quick before we get into the last voicemail, I wonder if Ian Cunningham gonna tell Ryan Post to chill this year in the draft. Maybe he told him to chill. Rome gonna be there. Do you
Yeah.
think Ashton Genty gonna be there? Let's wait and see. It's gonna be interesting to see. Hey, y'all. We right around the corner for draft day. 12 days away. It's busting.
Damn.
But let's get into this last voicemail. C-Dubb, we black yet again. Here's the
Marifa
voicemail from Marifa.
Bobby, C-Dubb, hey, them cognac boys. What's happening, fellas? It's your man, Marifa Star, black yet again, man. Listen, Shador Sanders is the X factor for the Chicago Bears upcoming draft in 2 weeks. Let me break it down, man. Now, if Shador Sanders slide down to 10 like it's being reported on ESPN, then I just right. Then the Bears will have a chance, man, to trade down and go pick up left tackle Josh Simmons. Okay, let me explain. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they pussyfooting around with Aaron Rodgers, and they ain't got nobody on their roster for the quarterback position that's worth a damn. So they need a future quarterback. And you know that the Bears have done trades in the past with the Pittsburgh Steelers before. Now, Holes ain't scared to drop all the way down into 11 slots. He did it before. Now, he could drop down from 10 to 21 and go down there and get left tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State University. Now, people say, Marifa, Josh Simmons is coming off injury. He hurt. He got an ACL. How you gonna replace him with Braxton Jones coming off a damn broken ankle? I said this. You got Karan and Mega DZ sitting there, and Cole's head is competition. Okay? So it's gonna be competition at that left tackle position. Now, if Josh Simmons don't win the competition this year, which I doubt he definitely will, then you always got next year. Okay? So you prepping him for 2026. Okay? Now, you get him down 2021, you drop down in the draft, pick you up a first round pick next year, get you a third round pick this year, and then, you get left tackle for the future. I think it's a win-win situation. Right? Now, y'all tell me what you think, man. But Shador Sanders is the key to all of that. Now, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I got place to go, got people to see, but you know what I'm gonna say before I leave? It's Chicago up and bad out, baby. FTD. Let's go.
Man, Marifa, you ended that off great. Y'all fellas put on a hell of a show today for us. And we hope we was able to give y'all a hell of a show in return. C-Dubb, what you got?
Shout out to my man Marifa Assar. That's one of my favorite guys, Marifa Assar. Look, now I don't know. It just sounds crazy to me trading down to all the way from 21 to 10. Is I'm crazy for thinking that? I want to know your opinion about that when I get
some people might say that they willing to do that.
Okay. Trading down to 21 for an injured 300-pound human being. I'm not with it. Trading down for an injured 300-pound human being with insurance that you got a guy in Quran that didn't even know how to get his hands on a defensive lineman that was trying to get your quarterback last season. I am not high on Quran. I'm not even medium with Quran. I don't think he is a professional football player, honestly. So if we're doing dropping the 21 for this debacle, I don't like it, Marifa. I see where you coming from, but I can't do it.
Would it change your mind to hear that he's actually been on track the last few weeks?
No, it doesn't.
And I think you're being too harsh on Quran, man.
Why?
I do.
Why?
You say he ain't a professional? Let him get some let him go through a proper.
Don't you have to ask me
proper
what did you
camp
see in that game, nephew?
That's one game, bro.
He
wasn't prepared.
He wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared.
He wasn't prepared. But we know that C-Mo is ass too. Get him with a good coach and let him have a shot to get on the field to validate it. Let's wait for validation.
Sure, nephew. But how much if everybody wants to put the blame on somebody else? What about Quran? Why he's not prepared? What about himself? What about the blame on the player?
Fair enough.
So he looked ill-prepared to be a professional football player when he got in the game. He couldn't even touch the defender. And the defender wasn't that good. So I'm not putting any stock and any insurance in no damn Quran. And
you're gonna see in this season.
He was injured when we drafted him. We should learn from our mistakes and dump them in a wastebasket. That's what
we go see him this season. We gonna see him this season.
Oh, in training camp.
You talking about in training camp? You gonna see him in preseason. Get ready.
In training camp, yeah. And then he gonna take them long walks over to see Ryan. Take that long walk. Don't forget your playbook, neither.
Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. A hell of a show today. We hope y'all enjoyed it just as much as we did. That is it from us today, man. C-Dubb, you got anything left?
I can't believe my nephew campaigning for the
I'm not campaigning for him, but allow the young fella to go through a training camp first.
At least be kindergarten competent in the game of football.
Damn, kindergarten?
Kindergarten competent. I meant it that disrespectful.
That's the Remy talking.
What is it?
Bro ass tweaking.
Bro,
But look, it ain't much evidence to sit there and fight for him hard
yes,
because
it is.
he
Oh yeah,
didn't
they go.
he didn't put on a great showing. But I say allow him to get some coaching
This is
to
different.
see if he can validate himself.
This is different coming from nephew, bro.
I'm
I
just
didn't.
saying, get a young
You
fella a chance.
always held people to the fire, bro. And I don't know. You got a soft spot for Quran. I don't even know you even
There
seen
you
them
go.
for
Every
more than.
time a motherfucker
Why
try
you
to
got a
put
soft
on,
spot for
I don't
Quran,
have
bro?
a
Why you
soft
give
spot.
it?
I'm just saying, let's see what he's made of after going through a full mini camp, training camp in preseason. Let's see.
He gonna be made of plastic. That's what he gonna be made of.
We'll see. We'll see. But that is it for us today, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure before y'all get up out of here that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. And if you want to be a part of the mailbag episode, go ahead and call in, state your name, leave your take. The number to do so is 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for all Chicago Bears. And y'all already know. Chi-Town up and bear down, baby. We're going to catch y'all on the next for sure.
Quran, they got some security jobs opening.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.